Hello, everybody. My name is Ulysses Hine. Welcome to Researching the Law. Our course is made up of 8 modules, and I want to begin by sharing with you the exact screen for our course so that you can see exactly what we are going to be working with. So, as you can see, Researching the Law, Lake 620. It's about learning all there is to know in the principles of basic legal research in the United States. Our course is made up of 8 modules, as I was telling you, to be completed over 8 weeks. These modules, Module 1 begins and finishes in week 1, and so on. So you will see that our course is divided, and on the left navigation panel where it says course home, start here, course content, where it says course content, it will be divided into different modules, which is basically equivalent to a week's worth of work. So now we are in module 1, as you can see it here. And right now I am sharing with you the screen as a student view, so that way you can see, I can show you the same images in the same way that you will see it on yours. So we are going to have a discussion, quizzes and writing assignments to complete throughout the course. The discussion posts are due on Wednesdays by midnight, and you'll respond to 2 of your classmates' discussion posts by Friday at midnight. Please do not respond with just one-line responses like, yeah, I agree, or something like that. But try to really think about what it is that you read and answer and give feedback accordingly so that you can create a discussion. Discussions are made to foment learning. And for those reasons, I ask you to please take the time to write a little bit more than just a paragraph about the issue. Okay. Quizzes are due on Mondays. You will have 4 quizzes. Writing assignments are also due on Mondays, and you will have 3 writing assignments. One of the assignments will be the cover page, abstract, outline, and works cited page for the final paper. So basically, you're going to submit those 4 things: a cover page, an abstract, an outline, and works cited page for the final page as one assignment. The instructions for each assignment are in the module and on the left sidebar, as you will see on the left-hand side of your screen. The final paper is the final project. You'll be learning each week something which will help you put together your final paper. So each week I try to go over the principles of legal research, and I ask you to import what you have learned into your final paper. So that way it builds on what you are learning from week 1 onto week 8. Now, let's take a look at module 1, as you can see on your screen. Okay, and if you see that each one, and I'm going to try to go ahead and use it. It's a little bit limited because of the view. It will have an explanation, and it will tell you what it is that we're trying to cover, and then it goes by pages. So after you finish one, you're going to find the learning objectives. The learning objectives for the week 1 is to explain the process by which laws are promulgated and describe the judicial branch, both federal and state, and formulate a legal research strategy or plan. So you want to know about a particular subject matter, and you want to start thinking about how is it that I'm going to find the results or the answers to my legal issue. Okay, next, you're going to find that there's an activities checklist. Complete each task below and click to place a check mark in a box that corresponds to a finished item. So the first thing you're going to do this week for module 1, you're going to introduce yourself to the class. So in the discussion, there's an area for you to go ahead and insert a part about who you are and what you're interested in the class and what you're hoping to get, etc., etc. A couple of prompts are given to you to try and foment some discussion, but I urge you to use your own creative thinking in what will be appropriate for each week's module to discuss with your peers so that way we can, again, learn more from this opportunity. And then you're going to search for the APA style materials online on the WVU Libraries link, which is linked right there, and the tutorial link provided within the module as well. So APA is a writing format style. It's like the Chicago manual style or other forms. But APA is the most recognized for academic items, and this is what we're working on. Then you're going to bookmark the Legal Research in a Nutshell research guide. Why? Because this research guide is really valuable in everything that I'm trying to teach you week by week has been already been condensed and put into this research guide by the University of Virginia that those librarians maintain with the latest and the best legal links to legal materials for you to use. So instead of having to reinvent the wheel and trying to find out where to find something that's already listed in your book, in your legal research in a nutshell, it's already listed under the research guide, so you can just click on it and see the many different alternatives, mostly cost-effective methods, or meaning governmental sites or nonprofit organizations or universities or courts that will give you the items without having you pay. Although, of course, the best and the most used in the legal world are legal databases that are per cost, such as Westlaw, LexisNexis, or Bloomberg Law. They're very expensive, in the 30s, 50s, 60 thousands of dollars every year, depending upon the amount of lawyers. But we don't want to be dealing with that. I just want to teach you how to do legal research. In that way, you can reproduce it in no matter which database that you're utilizing. But the APA is the style that we're looking for. So look in the library's link. Also, there's also a Purdue website, OWL Purdue, which is you can Google, and also has an APA style formatting guide for you to follow when you create your final paper. That way you get all the points you can get with regards to formatting, etc. Okay. And after you already bookmark your legal research in a nutshell research guide from the University of Virginia, and you start working with the WVU databases, you'll see that WVU databases has plenty of materials for you to do legal research without having to incur into expenses such as Hein Online, ABI Inform, Academic Search Premier, FindLaw, JSTOR, et cetera, that may have a lot of legal materials that people will not take into consideration. Then you can include your discussion, like I told you, and then you will take the first quiz, quiz one, check your understanding. Now, don't panic. This is not graded against you. It's not, basically, it's just checking your understanding to see whether or not you are in fact capturing or you do know the principle of legal research so that we can move forward. Okay. And for homework, there's a review of the WVU Libraries link, which is again where you're going to start getting familiarized with all of the different materials that they have that can help you with a particular uh, project or legal question. Okay. So the core creation, and this is going to start telling you all about the formation of the courts in the United States. And they were created under Article 3 of the Constitution. And this is the third branch of government. First branch being the executive, second branch being the legislative, and third being the judicial branch, the court branch, which under Marbury's of Madison, established by Justice Marshall that it is the third branch of government that is allowed to review both the executive and the legislative works uh, for coherence with the intents of the founding fathers. The court structure is a very important thing for you to be familiarized with. Why? Because there's a federal court and then there's a state court. And understanding what your jurisdiction and venue is obviously critical. You don't want to take a case that is not appropriate to a state court when it really belongs in the federal court because it's obviously a federal matter or a federal law issue or a constitutional law issue or a matter that exceeds a certain financial amount, $75,000, etc., or more. And it keeps changing and changes depending upon the court. So you have to really know, and you also have to strategize as to what will be the best court to take your case or your client's case when you are trying to find some relief. Next, the educational resources. I try to provide it with everything I can, and the United States court systems have also provided a lot of different materials that will teach you on how the state courts work and how courts work in basics all over the United States. Very important. So, for example, we have to understand that we have a northern, a middle, and a southern district court. We also understand that we have circuit courts. We also have district courts, and we are in the 20th Circuit Court of Collier County here in Naples, Florida. Next, you have to see that the United States court system always goes to the top. The top of the court is the Supreme Court of the United States, and then we have the 12 Circuit Courts of Appeal. So every region of the United States, and in Florida, we're in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeal. In California, they're in the 9th Circuit Court of Appeal, and so on and so forth. Those courts of appeal are the next to highest courts of the land. But then there are also courts of appeal for the federal circuit, for federal law, and the ones for the armed forces, which has to deal with all of military law for all the branches of the armed forces. Okay, and you see this in this brief overview that we have in that graphic, and there are plenty more that you can research through, including in your book. Now, information used to be hard to find, but now we find that we have way too much information. So legal research is not about finding information, it's about finding the right information, especially because time is of the essence, and we need to find the best answer to help our clients find the solutions that they're searching, or for us to find the solution to our problems or our institution's problems, okay? So the research process, how does it work? I want you to start thinking about it in three basic steps: secondary sources, primary sources, update the law. With secondary sources, we can already get informed about the area of law and start extracting the right words, the right terms of art, so that we can continue our research. And then once we have those materials, then we can search for primary sources, which are usually the statutes, the court cases, or administrative law materials. And then all we have to do is update the law to see if there are any other cases or any other statutes or anything new that has come up that may or may not affect how I interpret that law. But all of it derives from the very first step, which is the initial client interview. In the initial client interview, you need to determine what the information that you need. So what is the jurisdiction? What is the venue? What is the amount? What is the actual question? Is it a matter of constitutional law, a question of law, or is it a question of fact? What is it that we're trying to deal with here? And you choose the method of locating the information, you search for the information, you assess the information that you find, and you repeat this process until you have the information you need to make a decision. So what happens with legal research is that there's no actual defined answer that tells you, okay, here it is, that's the answer, this is the case, voila, here you go. Because if then they wouldn't need us, right? But they do need you, because after you do the research and you run the cycle again and again, the secondary sources, the primary sources, and update the law, you will find that it comes around again in a cycle, and you will find the same cases, the same statutes, the same items being highlighted, which can lead you to believe that, or assert that you are in fact citing the correct law and that you have done all of the research that you needed to. As you begin your research for your final project paper, you may find it helpful to structure your thoughts around these questions. What questions do I need to answer? How can I use the information I already have to focus on my research? What criteria should I use to evaluate what I find? And how can I use what I find to locate better or more information? So the first thing you're going to do is try and think about a topic of law that you may be interested in. So there are so many things that we may be interested in, including real estate law, family law, animal law, disability law, education law, employment law, gosh, aeronautics, admiralty, every kind of conceivable law. But what is it that really makes you wonder? What makes you think about how does this work, or how would that work? Let's say that your neighbor's tree is being hanging close to breaking your fence and maybe the side of your house. And in the next wind, you want to be aware of what will happen if this tree breaks and comes knocking through my window, my doors, and damages my property. Okay, so then you research that. You research property law, you research premises liability law, you research what wind damages, force majeure items. There's going to be some hints to insurance law to deal with the private homeowners insurance companies, etc. And all those things are things that are practical value, and that you can apply as a topic for your research on your paper. So researching your topic. Think about a topic that you're interested in and begin researching for the final project paper. You can start with the broader topic and narrow it afterwards because you begin the investigation and you start developing more informed decisions as to, in terms as to what it is that you're finding. And go through the WVU libraries link. They have a tremendous amount of research that can help us. There's some attached file here. Legal research is to be seen uh, as a challenge, a puzzle that feels rewarding upon completion. And again, secondary sources, primary resources, update the law through Shepherd's citation, and legal, legislative history, administrative law expert items will come as supplemental to the whole study. Okay. I hope that this is helpful to you, and I hope that you are able to see the basic principles of what we are going to be doing in our class. I also want you to feel comfortable with sending me an email or texting me. My cell phone number is Erico 304-816-1410. And I really am interested in knowing what is it that you want to learn more about. And then I want to kind of show you, if I can, and if we can kind of work on it together, that how to do it. I will need you to learn how to do legal research so that it can help you with your career and it can help you with helping your friends, your family, and your colleagues at work, etc. It's very valuable. Okay. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.